Nalla Narasimha Reddy Education Society's group of institutions, integrated campus. The institution is approved by AICT, New Delhi, and affiliated to JNTU, Hyderabad. This is Dr. G. Subbarao, professor working in Department of Civil Engineering. I welcome all the civil engineering candidates for this online session. In today's session, I am going to speak about earthquakes, seismic belts of earthquakes, and a seismic zoning map of India. This is the topic: seismic belts and seismic zoning map of India. If we see the history, the seismic map was divided into 7 zones in terms of severity, that is magnitude. So based on the magnitude, the country has been divided into 7 zones on a seismic map. The first seismic map, that is the zoning map, was prepared in 1962 on the basis of historical data which was available regarding the occurrence of earthquakes at various places of all over the country. Subsequently, the seismic map, that is zoning map, was revised in 1966. Many of the areas in zone 5 and 6 were merged into a single zone named as zone 5 because of the high risk. So zone 5 and zone 6 were considered as zone 5. In the zoning map, that is revised once again in 2000, the earlier zones of zone 1 and zone 2 were also merged as zone 1 because of their low risk. That means zone 2 and zone 1 were considered as zone 1. So totally the number of zones reduced from 7 to 5. Here zone 1 is the least severe and the zone 5 is most severe. This is the past history of the country. So all the 5 zones were shown with different colors in the map. So zone 1 less severe. So this is the zone 1 area. And similarly zone 2, this is the color. Central part of India, southern part of India is covered by zone 2, and yellow color represents zone 3, that is spreaded in much of the area, and zone 4 high risk, this is west of Gujarat, and zone 5 is the highest severity, especially northeast of India and foothills of Himalayas and northern part of India. This is the history of the seismic zone of India, and it's very once again clearly shown in a different view. All the 5 zones are marked here. So here in the latest revision of seismic zones, the country has been divided into 4 zones, namely zone 2, which is shown in blue color, and zone 3 moderate risk, that is yellow color, and zone 4, that is dark brownish yellow, northern foothills of Himalayas, and zone 5 very high risk, which is shown in red color. This is the latest seismic zonal map of India, and some of the hot spots in Andhra Pradesh is shown here. Of course, both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh were merged here. These are the seismic hotspots. So, Vijayanagaram district, Kottagudem district, near Bhadrachalam area, Khammam, Hyderabad, Darsi, Ongole, in Prakasam districts. These are the hotspots in both the states. Present scenario. So, as I said, the seismic zones of India is considered as zone 2 low risk, zone 3 moderate risk, severity is 4, and zone 5 is very severity. Earthquake prone areas of India have been identified on the basis of 3 factors. So, one is scientific inputs related to the seismicity, earthquakes which were occurred in the past, tectonic setup of the region. So, based on these 3 parameters, earthquake prone areas of India have been identified. Based on 3 factors, the Bureau of Indian Standards has grouped India into 4 seismic zones. Once again, zone 5 most severe, zone 4 severe, zone 3 moderate, and zone 2 low or least seismically active. Precautionary measures for the construction of buildings, dams, reservoirs in seismic areas. IS code 1893-2970 has given guidelines for constructing buildings, dams, reservoirs, especially in seismic areas, with a few precautionary measures. For construction of buildings, building should be founded on hard rock formation and not on loose soils or fractured rock formations. Foundation should be same depth throughout for the continuity. There will not be any variations. So foundation is to be maintained at the same depth throughout the area. Buildings which are situated very close to hills or hillsides or near steep slopes are always suffer more when earthquake takes place. Therefore, these situations, especially near steep slopes, hillsides, are to be avoided. Buildings should have light walls by using lightweight bricks, and the different parts of a building should be tied together so that the whole structure should behave as a single unit to the vibrations. Proper proportionate of cement and mortar should be used. Doors and windows should be kept as a minimum, not many windows or doors. The projections wherever are planned in a building above the roofs are not advisable. So projections are to be avoided. The building should have uniform height and better to avoid parapets, cantilevers, domes, arches, etc. So all these additional features are to be avoided in seismic areas. For construction of dams, we know that dams are very costlier projects and their consideration in seismic areas require proper study to ensure their safety. And some of the precautionary measures in case of dams are as follows. Forces in the dam due to reservoir water and dam weight are counterbalanced. So always forces takes place in the dam due to reservoir water which is accumulated in the reservoir and the weight of the dam. These two are counterbalanced by introducing additional stresses in the design of the dam. Design of the dam is to be made such that during an earthquake they move along with the foundations below. In such a way the designs are to be prepared. Dam should not ordinarily be built along the fault or across the fault because there may be a possible slipping occurs along the plains during earthquakes, and also better to avoid along the fault zones or across the fault zones. Thank you.